All right.
Kathy, you want to fix your screen so we're in?
Yep. Sorry, I forgot that part. Now we're good.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, let's dive right in. Welcome, welcome. It is Tuesday, August 25th, 2020. And for those of you on with us live, we're so excited to have you here with us, Kathy and I, for our very first Ask an Executive chat. This is our first Ask an Executive webinar of our fall Executive Bound program, and we have a jam-packed day planned for you. So, Kath, if you will skip to slide 3, let's go ahead and dive right in. Let's get down to business, and I'm going to let you take off with that.
Okay, thanks. So you guys, typically how our flow is that we train on a topic, the first webinar of the month, and then on the second topic, we have an expert come in to talk about how they implement this particular topic. So as you guys know, we talked about creating culture in your organization. So we always do just a little bit of a review. I heard a statistic that was really interesting yesterday, and it basically said the first time you hear about a concept, you remember about 17% of it. And so that's why we repeat this. You know, one of the things that we are very fond of is that repetition is the mother of learning. So, so we're going to kind of go through a few of these slides. I pulled a couple of them out. But one of the things that we talk about at Pampered Chef is that you can be a director, a leader, or an inspirational leader. And how are they different? And as you guys know, directors direct, leaders lead, and inspirational leaders do more than that. So that's what we're going to talk about, is how do they differ? So inspirational leaders, basically they do it all. They inspire others, which is really a big, important part of what we do here at Pampered Chef. You know, I always tell people when they say they're not having success, I always ask, are you giving too much information and not enough inspiration? Right? So we also set the pace, lead by example, and believe, believe, believe. And the thing I love about this part of believing is it's really about believing in yourself, believing in others, and then having that ability to transfer that belief, you know, to your team and teach them how to do that. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the next slide. There it is. That's what we're going to do. So this is the other thing that I think is really crucial about inspirational leaders, is that they are creating a vision and a picture so clear that everyone can see themselves in it. Now, I know many of you have heard that a long time, and some of you are new or to Pampered Chef and are just now remembering, oh yeah, I think I've heard that maybe before, but that's a really important part of what we do here at Pampered Chef with leadership. So how do you really become an inspirational leader? What is it that you have to implement? And how do you become an inspirational leader of an executive team, which is the goal here, right? And so the focus is creating that culture and that vision. And so Stacia's going to talk a little bit more about exactly what that means, that culture for success.
Thanks, Kath. I love talking about culture, and I kind of get real excited when we dive into this. Whether it's any one of our 3 core cultures, it's really important to talk about, first and foremost, how we define culture. Culture is defined as a set of shared values, goals, and practices that characterize a group, team, or organization. The culture is really what we do and say. The way we behave, and it's the way that we treat one another. Now, there are 2 ways that culture can really come together on your team. First, you could totally just let it happen. And maybe some of you have experienced that in your organization or the organization that you're a part of. If you were to choose this way, usually the loudest voice wins. Now, I want you to ask yourself, is this what you want? Do you want the loudest voice to be the one that dictates and drives your culture? Or on the other hand, you can allow it to come together by deciding on the culture you want and creating it intentionally. You can create the culture you want. You have to believe that you can do so. So let's talk about what cultures we want to create in our organization. I'm sure many of you have seen these 3 core cultures. If you're new, maybe this is new to you as well. I know Cathy shared these with you on our very first webinar, but our 3 core cultures that we ask every leader at Pampered Chef to focus on are, first and foremost, the culture of teamwork and monthly activity. Secondly, the culture of fast-paced recruiting growth. And lastly, the culture of career plan advancement. Now, your culture is truly what you want it to be. But before we implement these really important core cultures, we've got to talk about your personal culture for your organization. Now, we've asked you to think about these questions. We asked you to think about these questions on our last webinar. So hopefully you've had some time to really mull these over. And I would love for you to share with us in the chat, what is it that your team culture is like today, first and foremost? Kath, you got anything coming in there? Oh, you're on mute.
I just realized that. All right, so sharing and caring, collaborative, growing and supportive, positive. I love it.
Oh, I like that Tammy was real honest there and said disconnected.
Yeah.
That's good. So we want to ask you, maybe if your culture isn't quite where you want it to be or where you think it should be, what is it that you would like your culture to be? What words would you use to describe what you want that team culture to be? And I know I'm seeing some frustrated and some dysfunctional pop up on the screen in front of me, and we appreciate that vulnerability because certainly no one is perfect. So if you're one of those people, what do you want it to be? How do you want to describe it? Drop it in the chat.
I love that Jamie Johnson says it's been waking up. I love it. And then I know somebody else said disconnected or unmotivated, weak, but definitely get there. Working on being encouraged. We've lost steam and positive momentum over the summer. So I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Jennifer says fun, supportive, goal-oriented. Let's see who else. I want it to be more family driven, working together, and more encouraging.
I like it. We certainly could use a lot of different words to describe the culture we might like to have. And you've given us so many of those words in the chat: successful, active, brave, hustle, thriving. And again, remember, you want to determine what you want your culture to be and be the one who drives that culture. And that is exactly what we've invited our guest speaker to share and to speak with us about today. I'm really excited to introduce Executive Director from now Colorado, Jennifer Lewandowski. Jen, I'm going to share a few quick things about you that I just love and inspire me about who you are. So some fun facts first that you may or may not know: that Jen used to be one of the top band directors, as Cathy said earlier, in the state of Texas, and does know how to play, maybe not well, she will say, but knows how to play all of the band instruments. She loves to ski, and I believe has now made, is it 9 major cross-country moves in the last 15 years, Jen?
Yeah, that's not a stat I'm proud of.
Well, it was 8 last time you and I spoke, or we did one of these, so I know we've made one more since. So I was kind of trying to keep up on my own here with you.
Yeah.
And I love that I have just so much that I would love to share with you about Jen, but time is of the essence. So I'm personally inspired by her response when I asked her what she was most proud of accomplishing in her business, and her response was so genuine and so authentic. And she said, since deciding to work intentionally on her business 5 years ago, she has earned a trip every year, including the elite Disney trip. She has earned excellence every year in at least one category, and has reached over $250,000 in career sales. So Jen, I want to hand it over to you with all of your awesomeness. Thank you for being with us today.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You know, it really wasn't that long ago that I was sitting exactly where all of you are. And signing up for this intimidating program, saying these impossible goals out loud, and doing it scared. So I really know how all of you are feeling right now, because it was very intimidating to take that first step. But you know, it was Stacia and Cathy's faith and vision in me and my abilities that really made me genuinely believe that becoming an executive director was a reality, not just a dream. And so, you know, that's a very good example of an inspirational leader, is Cathy and Stacia. So thank you to the two of you for having that vision in me. And I'm not going to cry before we even get started here. So, you know, it's my driving force in everything that I do for my organization. I have shared a crystal clear vision of where we are headed, and we have a plan on how to get there. I've set a tone of positivity, support, and encouragement. Negativity is not welcome in any of our team pages. We are problem solvers, and we are each other's biggest cheerleaders. In my opinion, there are 6 key things that we are working well for us, and I'm going to share each of those with you. I will recap these, so no need to start scribbling furiously. Number 1 is belief. 2 is leading by example. 3 is motivation. 4 is showing value. 5 would be recognition, and 6 is a sense of belonging. So let's talk about number 1, which was belief. It's my responsibility to instill a belief in my team members that they might not yet see, a potential that they may not realize, and it scares them. I believe in them strong enough until they believe it too. I hope to share with you today some easy yet meaningful things that I've been able to implement with my team that have made a really big impact. Number 2 is, and this is a big one, leading by example. First and foremost, you need to be the kind of leader that others want to follow. I must lead by example. I must have a full show schedule. I recruit consistently and conduct myself in a respectful, positive manner, no matter the circumstance. I am always reaching for more. I want them to see all of the amazing possibilities that the company has to offer. When they see someone that they know earning incentive trips or excellence awards, they start to think, hey, that could be me too. And so I really believe in that stepping up and walking the walk. Number 3 would be motivation. I make sure that every week starts with a motivational Monday post. And here's an example. It's really easy to Google all kinds of motivational quotes. I mean, we know all of the favorites that are out there, right? Rory Vaden, John Maxwell, Boss Babe is another favorite. And every Monday, the post includes motivational hashtags, you know, for the incentive trip, Beachbound in 2020, our next title goal for senior executive, and then our Better Together organization name. And I've just used ScentShare to post these throughout the rest of the year. I don't even have to think about it. We wake up to this motivational post every Monday. Number 4, I want to show them value, and I really believe that information is power. And so every Monday, one of my to-do lists includes posting this weekly team update so that they know where we are in the goal for every team being active. I share a team update with their overall sales, and I will turn their money bag green when they are active. I will also make sure to add congratulations in the post to the active teams, and I cheer on the ones that still have some more work to do. My goal behind this is to emphasize the importance that every person matters in helping their individual teams turn green. It's my hope that when we celebrate that accomplishment, it will be a behavior that they will want to repeat. Number 5, this is a big one for me. I am a huge believer in recognition, and people love to see their name in print. I mean, think about it. When recognition comes out, you know you're looking for your name first. And so I do multiple things for recognition. I post this organization-wide sales update once a week, and this is my team banner, by the way. I add a congratulations post recognizing the new team green and tag every member of that team who contributed to the success, no matter how small the sales. As a matter of fact, just before this call, I had another green team go, another director team go green. And so my standard congratulations post is, I will say congratulations to the director name, their team name, and then I will say thank you to all of the different team members that contributed to that success, whether that contribution was $2,000 or $20. It all matters. I want my banner to reflect our current organization structure as well as the next step in title, so everyone knows exactly what we're working towards. I always have open houses on my banner so that they know that there's room for more. The house color represents the leader's title, and once the team is active, I turn the house green and change the roof to the title color. And all of this magic happens with the help of Canva. I want my teams to keep striving for more, so I add a bronze, silver, or gold medal to the chimney when the team passes the 10, 15, or 20,000 mark in sales. I make sure to keep our monthly and yearly goals very clear over there in the blue boxes off to the side so that they know exactly what our overall sales are for the whole year. And it really does, it's a huge motivator. They were very excited. Our big, hairy, scary goal for 2020 was to go for 1 million in sales. And as we were getting close to that in July, everybody kept commenting, oh my gosh, we're so close, we're so close. And so I'm excited to say that we achieved that first goal several months early. And so now we've reset the goal. I keep forgetting to reset that recruiting goal, Cathy. So I promise to change that to 300.
Okay, we'll talk if we have to. But.
Yes, ma'am. But we recently reset. I really believe, based on the trajectory of our sales, that we could possibly do the 2 million by the end of December. So that's our next goal.
Yeah. What does the little banner say on the open houses? I can't quite read it.
Available now.
Okay, so and I just want to comment here because I've seen people post like leader needed or something like that, but I love the available now or your name here because it's more about not what you need, but about what is available to them. Like they can have a spot on that chart, so I love that. I feel like this is probably one of the best charts I've ever seen as far as a banner. You really got it all covered, but it doesn't look like, you know, there's too much on it. So
Wow,
I love the recognition for, you've got title recognition, you've got recruit recognition with the little person and the number on it. You've got their sales, team sales recognition, and then all the goals, and it looks fabulous.
One thing I love is that it's recognizing all of those right behaviors that we want to repeat.
Yeah, absolutely.
The sales to the bookings to the recruiting and the promotions.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I also love that she's always got 2 or 3 open.
Yep.
So you always want to make sure, like, they know what you need to reach the goal, but you also want to have those open spots so people realize, like, sometimes if you, let's say you're going for 6 and 2 and you already have the 2, you have no extra spots, they're like, oh, well, they don't need anybody there. So it's not that big a deal if I reach for that goal. So, okay, good. Very good. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had to know.
No, it tickles me that you guys love this so much because it's just, it's kind of evolving. And the current structure that you see on there right now is for national exec. So that's what the 3, 2, and 2 gray, it makes me nauseous just saying it out loud. But so those are the gray houses. And of course, you know, once we fill up, you know, whichever line it's going to be, I'm going to be making the houses smaller and adding more gray houses because we always want that overage, right? So the house that you see on there, it's just one of those stock photos from Canva. And whenever you use, just side note for Canva users, whenever you use one of their stock photos, that gives you the ability to adjust the colors. And so that's what makes it so easy to change the house green, the roof blue. I don't have any control over the heart, but I just think it's cute. So I kept it there.
So the heart was just already there, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Somebody was asking about the heart, and they asked if we could post this in the executive band page. Are you good with that? Okay,
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Yeah, no problem. You know,
Okay.
and earlier this month, I shared our next goal for title of senior executive team. And I always make sure that I say team, because it's not, and yeah, sure, I hold the title, but I can't get there without them. And so I shared a post in my organization page with, you know, the senior executive director banner, and underneath it, because a lot of them don't know that it takes 3 months to get there. And so just like you see on the banner photo here with the little box next to August, September, and October, I
Right.
made another little graphic explaining that this is what we're going to do for the next 3 months, but I can't do it alone. It's going to take every single one of them. And so to keep it on the forefront of everybody's mind, I added that to the team banner so that they see it every time they go to the org page.
Yeah, love that.
So the next slide is my personal team banner. Another glance tells them exactly where we are as a team for the month, and as well as for the year down in those boxes. And they can see their name. This is my personal team. They can see their name and feel that pride when they have a star next to it for sales or a heart next to it for recruiting. And I've been doing this particular kind of banner for so long that they expect to see the hearts and the stars, and they will message me and they're like, hey, I'm purple now, do I get a star? You know, and so I'm like, yes, I promise next Monday I'm going to be updating all of the banners, because I used to update it a lot more frequently, and I've had to put myself on a schedule. Monday is when the updated banners come out. No, I don't have an assistant, and it's something I'm looking into. But yeah, no, this is really blurry on my screen. I'm not sure why, but I'm totally fine if these get shared in the executive page so that people.
I was noticing that it was blurry as well, and I'm sorry I didn't notice it earlier. So what we can do is, as you wrap up, I can either just go and share my screen and show your page. But if you can send it, or we can pull
all
up
the images, so I can just upload them to the executive page as soon as we're done, guys. No worries.
Yeah, so just kind of explain what some of the little stars are in the hearts and all that, because this is the key, and I think it's really critical. A lot of people were saying, well, but wait, what do I do different on my personal team page than what I'm doing on my org page? So she's literally got every name listed, and then she's recognizing them, for sales, for recruiting. So tell us a little bit more about that, Jennifer.
Yeah, so down the blurry part down at the bottom, in the center, you'll see the different colored stars, and I've got it listed by commission levels. So the first one is green, so of course that's the 150, but then the red is 750, and underneath there you will eventually see that I've got the commission percentages in there so that they can see what it is for the next, to get to the next star. And so I've got 1,000 in sales gets them into the comma club, and that's become a new expectation or threshold. They just naturally, that's a goal for them, is this a fantastic group that Terry Palat started with extra training. And so being in the comma club is now an expectation for the month. And so we added a purple star to celebrate that. Then orange is 1,250. I went ahead and put in a 1,500 yellow star, because it's a long way between the 1,250 and the 2,500 jump. And so I wanted to kind of have some kind of recognition in between those two milestones. And so that's why I threw in a yellow 1,500. Oh, that's clear.
So that's right on your page. I just pulled it up.
Oh, nice. Oh, it's my page. And so, and then 2,500, we recognize, again, there's a big jump between the 2,500 and the 4,000. So I added a 3,000 light blue star. And as you can see, this one's a little bit different than the picture you saw a minute ago. I recently had 2 director promotions. And so over on the right side, you can see Together We Soar and Together We Triumph with those first names in red. Those are my new directors. I let them stay in my personal team page for a month or so.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you got frozen Jennifer.
Before I kick them out of the nest. And I give them a little bit of, am I back?
You're back.
Hopefully.
Yep, you're
I'm
back.
moving.
You're moving.
Okay, yay. Okay, good. Sorry about that. So those directors have about a month before their team members are pulled out of my page. And I'm going to explain that here in just a little bit more. And so, you know, I really know that when people are messaging me to change those stars, it's obviously something that's it's a habit they want repeated. And so that's why I keep doing that. And it gets them really excited. And what's really fun is that each of my directors have a similar team banner to mine. And if you don't know this, you can share Canva graphics with a link, but make sure you make a copy of it because you don't want them messing up your original. Okay, so we all have this similar theme going through each of our team pages. So when consultants log into our team and organization pages, I want there to be no doubt about our mission. And, you know, we are a team with goals and we are going to achieve them, and it's everywhere. So we recognize those consultants who front load their month with the goal of being green by 15 with raffle tickets towards a drawing on the 16th towards 20 PC dollars. And each of the, I do just recognize one person, you know, in that raffle, and each of the directors take turns paying for those 20 PC dollars. And so you know, once a year or more before you have to shell out for that. So it's really not much. They earn raffle tickets depending on what day of the month that they become active. So if they're green on the 1st, they're going to get 15 raffle tickets. If they're green on the 2nd, they get 14, and so on, leading up to the 15th, where they would get 1 ticket for being green on the 15th. This also helps my directors in the organization have green teams by the 15th. You know, again, we're recognizing the behavior that we want repeated. Another very familiar program to all of you, I'm sure, is being green on the 15th. They receive a postcard acknowledging their efforts, as well as a post in the organization page. When they're green by 15, 3 months in a row, they do earn those 10 PC dollars. And I have several who have that 12-month consecutive goal on their radar. And I recently did have to shell out for the 12 months in a row green, which is a fantastic thing to celebrate. And I do take a couple of extra minutes just to write on the front of the postcard, just a little something to celebrate that consultant. You know, Robin Schilling is a national exec, and she is so good about whenever she mails out something, she'll write awesome and point to my name on the front of the envelope. And that was just a neat little recognition that I just loved. And so I stole that from her. And so I make sure to recognize on the front of those postcards how fantastic that consultant is, just with something handwritten by me. Every month I do a new shout out kind of post for team members to share what they're doing in their business. And I ask them to post every single time that they do something that is working on their business in some way. So if they've booked a party, that's the September shout out post you'll see right there. If they're doing out and about contacts, customer care, they've chatted with a recruit lead, if they've spent time doing their contacts, they've invited somebody to an opportunity event, or just any income producing activity. I want them to share what they're doing in that pinned post, and with the hashtag September shout out. And at the end of the month, I'll do some kind of recognition drawing for that, just for some happy mail from me, you know. And I try to make it something silly each month, October out loud, or hashtag no nonsense November, things like that. Just something to make it one location where they all post in that same post to share ideas of what they're doing with their business. So if somebody calls me and says, I'm really kind of in a slump, I'll say, you know, have you checked out the Better Together pinned announcement post for the shout out, and see what you can do. October was October out loud, but you know, I just like things that all start with the same letter. And so it's a great way for people to just kind of find some ideas of what to do in their business. And so they get some happy mail for doing that. You know, everybody loves to have some kind of recognition on their birthday. And for a long time, I was doing, you know, individual happy birthday messages on whatever day of the month, but we've gotten too big, and we were in the team, the org page was really kind of bogging down with a lot of birthday posts. So I have consolidated all of my September birthdays into one post on the 1st. And it's just so neat to see everybody chiming in and saying, yay, this is my, you know, my birthday month and things like that. But I do still recognize signing anniversaries on the day that they signed, because I love now recognizing the people who have been with us 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years. And so those little congratulations. And so I ask them some kind of feedback in that post, like, what have you enjoyed most from your business? Or what is your next goal in your business? Some kind of interactive question, so that they can kind of talk with the group and have a little mini celebration for them in that post on their anniversary. I recently started doing a top 20 sellers post for everybody from the previous month, and that has taken off like wildfire. Oh my heavens, they love it. So lots of congratulations happens in that post, and the people who are listed as part of the 20, they're ecstatic to be there. They're like, wow, I had no idea I was doing so good. And so I want to recognize that, yes, you are doing the right things, and they love seeing it. But now I'm starting to see posts like, or comments like, I'm going to be on that list next month. And so it really kind of lights a fire underneath them and gets them going, which I love. And you know, this was really interesting to me. My directors in our last director meeting said, you know what, I really miss being recognized. And I'm like, you are totally right. Just because you're a leader doesn't mean that you don't crave that recognition. And so I started doing a top 5 recognition for my directors. I've got 17, and so I want to see them make the top 5 in sales. And I will say congratulations to these leaders who are shining examples in their personal business. And I really make a big deal about them being consultants and working their personal business, and I'll rank the top 5 in sales and recognize them as well. And what's really neat is that the team members love seeing their leader's name listed there. And so there's a lot of blow up and activity on that as well. They love seeing their leader's name up there. So, you know, just other little things that I love recognizing is just contributing to the page. You know, you can go to your group insights and see who your top contributors are, who's posting the most or commenting the most. And so I like to have a little happy mail drawing for, yay, Christy was the person who commented on the most posts this month. And so Christy knows that, and she knows that I do that. And so she goes in and she comments a lot because she wants some happy mail. Well, what that does is that I know she's reading my posts, and so that they go in and they do that. And I also recognize my top dash leaders. I'll go in there and I'll pull that report for the top 5 consultants or top 10 who are keeping up with their dash training. So they know I'm watching. Number 6 is a sense of belonging, you know, and everybody loves to be involved with something that's bigger than themselves, as Cathy always says. And quite organically, my personal team page ended up morphing into the organization page. And I continued to post in it, but my directors didn't really feel like they had a voice to share in that group because it was my team page, right? And so they kind of really weren't sure, you know, what they should post. And they had their own team pages, but what's the point? They figured, what's the point in sharing in my personal team? Jen already took care of it in the org page. And they didn't really have a sense of leadership. And so when I started with Executive Bound, everybody was talking about how, you know, leaders should have their own personal team page. And so that's when I finally broke my personal team, not out of the organization page, but I created a personal team page, and I had to come up with a new team name because my team name was Better Together, and I really didn't know what to do anymore because now I got to come up with a whole new name. And so the directors and I got together, and what was really eye-opening to me, it was only 5 of us. There were only 5 directors and me that were coming up with this idea, and that was only, what, January? And now look at all the directors on the team. It's so exciting. But so the 5 of us back then sat down and we decided, okay, we're going to come up with some kind of idea for team names. And we really liked the Together concept. And so we took that idea from the organization name and we branched out each of the team names to include that in the start of the titles. So each of the team names start with Together We, and we each pick a kind of strong word to fill in that blank. So we'll have teams like Together We Rise, Empower, Grow, Shine, Inspire, Succeed. And each of those words has a tagline that represents each of the different letters. And so, like, for example, in my team page, Together We Rise, RISE stands for Respect, Inspire, Support, and Empower. And so it's gotten a little bit interesting. One, my newest director's promotion, her team name is Together We Empower. And so, I mean, that tagline is about this long, but that's okay because they have all these words that really kind of inspire the new team members to come in and see those words and know that they're part of something really important. So this collaboration really did result in so many positive effects that I really didn't even anticipate. It bonds our teams together, and it allows for future directors to find their word for their team and their strong tagline. And most importantly, though, it gave my directors back their sense of leadership. You know, again, they figured why post in their team page because they saw what I was already doing. And so now what we do is in the organization page, Better Together, that's for celebration, recognition, maybe some important announcements and things like that. But the team pages is where the training happens. And we are all in each other's team pages. And so it's really funny when one of us posts an important training or a Teach Me webinar, all of a sudden I'm going to see my notifications pop up that all of the other directors are copying my post and putting it in their team pages. And we just have this understanding with each other that we are allowed to take ideas from each other's pages and add it to our own. And what that does is it gives my brand new director the appearance of looking like a leader without maybe not necessarily feeling like it just yet. You know, that new director knows that they can take these ideas from the other groups and add them to their own until they feel more like the leader that they are. And so, you know, we're just forming this close bond with each other, and it gets the team members talking, and it really helps that leader bond with their team, which is really nice. This shift is probably one of the greatest things that we did, and it was scary to start, more for me than for them because they had their team pages, but I felt like I had to start from scratch, and it really has made a difference. So exactly 1 year ago, exactly 1 year ago right now, August of last year, I only had 2 directors in my organization. and now I have 17. So it's absolutely amazing what can happen in a year. And I really do contribute all of that to one thing, one major implementation, and that was the consistent Director Bound program. And I've actually partnered with 4 other leaders. Each of us takes a different topic from the Director Bound program, and our 4 calls are booking, host coaching, increasing your sales, and recruiting. And we present these calls every Thursday night. The 5th leader in our little group of 5, they run a Monday night call for all of the new consultants. So anybody that's been recruited in each of the 5 organizations, they're invited to a Monday night new recruiter call. And then each of the other 4 directors were in charge of those Thursday night calls. We actually have those Thursday night calls open to the entire organization. But those aspiring leaders who want more from their business, we put them in a private group. And like the one you see here, this is actually one of our old banners. We called it Sail to Success. And in this small group, they can find accountability, homework assignments, encouragement, celebration. And when they're in this group, they know they're getting more focused training. We're also going to, at the end of that Thursday night call, we're going to have a separate Zoom link that we're inviting the current Director Bound participants into this exclusive training. And if you want to know more about it, message your leader. And so that way we're putting a little commercial for it at the end of our Thursday night call, and then telling the current Director Bound, the aspiring leaders, okay, now go to that other secret Zoom link that we've sent you to continue your training for the night. And so that's one of the things that we've started doing. And I really believe that with this Director Bound program, I've been consistently promoting 1 to 3 directors every single month ever since the start of this program. And so it's really been the #1 contributing factor to success in the group. I really believe it. So my last piece of advice is to make sure that you guys get in the habit of saving your prior year comparisons every January. Numbers don't lie. And they are going to help you set goals and know the highs and lows from month to month, so that you know how to best set those upcoming goals for your groups. And if you decide to implement any of these ideas, have faith that your culture will develop. It's going to take time for the enthusiasm and the energy to grow, but if you are consistent and you persevere and just be relentless in your pursuit for excellence, your team will come along.
Oh my goodness, Jennifer, thank you so much. I know the chat was blowing up. And Kath, did you see, I know we don't have a ton of time, but did you see a couple of questions that you wanted to ask to Jen while we've got her here?
Sure, yes. Tiffany Irwin wanted to know if you record your Zooms or you don't, Jennifer.
We do.
Okay. And then, let's see, earlier we had, let's see. Oh, Cora wants to know, what does RISE stand for?
Respect, inspire, support, and empower.
Okay. Let's see. There was one earlier that I was trying to find. There's a lot of talk in between. Everybody's loving what you're saying. Love the weekly tasks. Let's see.
I do have a director that has absolutely no desire to have her own team page. Her upline has been fine with that. And so what they've decided to do is just have her listed with her team over to the side on the team banner. We're not going to kick somebody out if they're like really scared to do it. I'm not going to, lock the door on them and tell them that they can't be in my team page anymore. But I'm trying to get them in the mindset of moving on to their own. But if they're not ready, they're not ready. But you have to kind of talk with them and figure out, is it they're really just scared to take that step, or they're really not ready? Yeah, and really, it's going to be case by case basis.
Right. Okay. So one of the earlier ones, I was trying to find this one, was how do you keep track of what is done or needs to be done? Do you have other daily tasks that are done each week? Like you mentioned, the banner updates on Mondays.
I use my calendar a lot, and I will write down, like, I just know Monday is my update all my posts day. And so I will go in, I'll update all my banners, I'll add my weekly sales update. And I've dedicated, I mean, that doesn't take much time, really only about a half an hour to get all this stuff updated. But I just know that that's my day to do it. And so it's just kind of trying to find the system that works for you to keep yourself on track. But yeah,
Okay.
writing it down helps.
All right. And for your top 5 directors, do you take your name off?
Yes.
Okay. But do you ever list your sales?
I do on my I have one giant recognition post where I will recognize everybody who had more than 1,000 in sales, or, you know, top recruiters for the month. And down at the bottom of that post, I will put your director's stats. And I list myself and all of the directors, our personal sales, team sales, org sales. And then at the very, very bottom, I do the overall year-to-date organization sales and organization recruits.
Yeah, and I love that. I do think it is important that people see your sales. It's not like you're going to put yourself in the lineup with your directors, because you're usually going to be the top seller, but I think it's important. So, oh my gosh, there are a couple more questions here, and there we are kind of running out of time. So, but that was amazing, Jennifer. Thank you so much for sharing. And Stacia, I know you're doing a leadership live tomorrow. So maybe if there's some other questions in here, you can pull them from the chat and answer those tomorrow and recap.
That would be awesome. And during that leadership live, if you've got questions, go ahead and drop those in the feed, and I will do my best to pop those out and answer them too.
Okay. Perfect.
Awesome. All right, Kath.
Yeah.
Jen, thank you so much. That was amazing and incredible and so inspiring. And gosh, it made me want to like go make my own org page and team page.
Me too.
All the names.
I need a really big Canva lesson first.
Right. Well, Kath, you and I can do that on our free time.
Yes, and actually, you know, we are going to be asking you guys for a call to action later, but oh, I love it. Christy says, "Can I hire you to do mine, Stacia?" So, but what I would love to have you guys type in the chat, just so Jennifer can see how incredibly valuable that was. Like, what is one thing you heard that like you're going to implement? So, because I'm not sure, Jennifer, are you able to stay on for the whole call?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going anywhere.
Fantastic. Good. So she's going to be able to hear. So go ahead, Stacia, I'll let you.
All right. We're just going to wrap up with a review of some really important information that we shared on our first call together a couple of weeks ago, just to keep it in the forefront of your mind and to make sure you've got all of the ins and outs of your fall executive bound program so you can absolutely make the best of our time together this season. So first and foremost, I want to draw your attention back to your at a glance sheet. You were sent this in your confirmation email on July 17th, and I believe it is also located in our Facebook group. If it's not located there, I will go ahead and post it there and make sure that it is. I just honestly can't remember at this point. But keep in mind that there are 200 of you and just 2 of us. So if you need to reach one of us, please do so via Facebook Messenger. Tagging us in a post is really fun, but those get lost in notifications, just like you guys know with all of your parties and in the groups that you manage. So please make sure you're private messaging us. This is your sheet with all of the ins and outs, your dates, the expectations, links for the calls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So make sure that you've got access to this. You've got it bookmarked. You've got the dates in your calendars. This is going to be your one-stop shop for all things executive bound for the next couple of months. Just a quick review of our Executive Bound team expectations. The Executive Bound training has kicked off, and we are almost a month in, if you can believe it already, and runs through December 31st. Our team's focus will be on accelerated business growth. With this in mind, you will be expected to meet the following performance levels as a member of our team. To submit 8 or more parties per month. We do actually encourage you to do at least 16 virtual parties a month if you are, and I think most of you are at this point, 100% virtual. To recruit a minimum of 2 new consultants, but we know you've got more in you every month. to actively work towards promoting a minimum of 2 or more directors by December 1st, to participate in all Zoom meetings, either live or replay mode. We know life happens and there are things that keep you from joining us live, so you will always have access to the replay as soon as we've got it available for you. And lastly, be open to personal coaching. Each team member is going to be given 3 passes as you begin the program. If a 4th pass needs to be used for either missing the party submitted or the recruiting expectation, you will be asked to step away from the team. If you were part of the spring executive bound program, this is a little different than the number of passes that you had in the spring. Just a reminder, because this program is 1 month shorter and it is your responsibility to track your passes using whatever method is best. And as always, keep track. Whatever works for you, put it in your calendar, put it in your notes in your phone, whatever it is, make sure that you're tracking. For those of you that were in Lead Plus or Lead the Way, we are not going to have links for you to click to report your homework. You will have to post on the conversation questions that we post in the Executive Bound Facebook page after every webinar and Ask an Exec chat. Of course, you are going to get to attend graduation for Executive Bound, but in order to do so and join us on January 15th, you must promote to executive. We know that you're already working hard to make your requirements of the 8 and 2 so that you can remain in the program. So trust me, you want to be there. This is going to be just packed full of recognition, training, inspiration, testimonials, and some really fun surprises that we've got up our sleeves. This is going to happen right before the Empower event in January. So be sure to mark this date on your calendar and be committed to be there. Kath, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about support that we're offering through this program too.
Okay, fantastic. So as you guys know, we are offering additional support for people who are working towards month 1 or month 2. So we're going to start our first Friday calls here pretty quick. That actually starts not this Friday, but next Friday. And we do actually have a call at 10 a.m. Central for those that are in month 1 or month 2. So there's an additional offering of one-on-one coaching call, either live, that should say Stacia or Cathy, not Noelle. And then we did last week, we did our first leader call, an aspiring leader call. And this is really cool because if you're in month 1 or month 2, you can invite your aspiring leaders to one of the calls, and you can invite your leaders to the other call. And so it's really good information that they need to hear based on where they're at as you guys are working towards an executive team. So that's something that we are offering. Also, we always tell everybody to make sure that you know the rules. We reminded you about this last time. You want to know the career plan, especially special situations like simultaneous promote, like you've got somebody under somebody else. One's going to be your first gen, one's going to be a second gen. Knowing those things are important. Title maintenance versus being paid at title for exec structure is important. That's actually in the policy guide under pay-based performance, page 27. So somebody was asking me if they're paid as a director but not an advanced director, does it count? The answer is yes, but you guys really need to reach out and know what those mean in that the guides. Passing by, all right, that's another one that's important to understand. Rebuild, reversion, repromotion, those are things that you guys want to make sure that you are understanding. All right, and we wanted to kind of talk about a little bit of a tough subject. I don't feel like it affects many people, but I will tell you sometimes we hear whispers of people saying, everybody's going to do everything they can to help this last leader promote. And the only thing I just want to warn you is it is against policy to give sales to another consultant. And if you need more information on that, it's on page 3 of the policy guide. It's a show order audit. So Stacia and I do not like playing the role of the police, the Pampered Chef police, but we tell you this because we want you guys to have success. We are telling you to protect you. So we don't want anyone, because every promotion that happens is always audited to make sure that, it was all done legitimately. And of course, you guys probably, I'm sure you appreciate that. But the bigger thing is, if you're helping people and you're giving them sales, I want you to think about, more importantly, what's really happening. It's kind of like the story of the cocoon, where the child is trying to help the cocoon open, but the cocoon isn't like building its strength by just letting it open itself. And the same thing is true with your leader. The other thing is, I always say, what will their success story be? If I went up to Susie Smith and I said, wow, you promoted so quickly, and she said, well, my director gave me 3 of her recruits and qualified them, I'm like, what? That's not the success story, right? So just a little warning, I really don't feel like we have that issue, but when I hear whispers of that, we get a little bit nervous, so we thought we'd jump in and chat about that. So, okay, first Friday call. Again, we started talking about this. I think I put this in the wrong place. Sorry about that. So 10 a.m. is if you're working towards month 1 or month 2 in September. And then everybody on the call, because there's over 200 people in the group, is invited to the 12 noon central call. This is open forum, what's working, what's not working. So Friday, September 4th, 12 noon, put it on your calendar. If you are going to be in month 1 or 2, make sure you get on the 10 a.m. call. It's a little bit more specific to exactly where you are and what we need to do to get you to the finish line for that month. Alrighty. And the way we are going to know if you're in month 1 or month 2 is the last day of the month, maybe the day before the last day, I will send out a link, one of us, Stacia or I will, and this is where you are going to fill this out if you're in month 1 or month 2, okay? So it's really important that you guys fill this out on the 1st, being that our call is on the 4th, and then you will get the special link to join our month 1 group. And I've had some people say, well, how do you know if you're really going to make month 1? And this is typically what we like to tell people. So you need to have 2 to 3 times the aspiring leaders that you actually need. All right. So for example, if you have, 4 first gen and 2 second, you only need 2 more first. You need to really make sure that you're working with 4 to 6 aspiring leaders that month. All right, if you have 4 to 6 aspiring leaders, chances are at least 2 of them are going to be promoting. So I know some people were questioning me, not questioning me, but questioning how it works with the structure of you have to make your whole structure of your 48,000 for US, 60,000 for Canada, plus your 4 first gen and your 2 second gen in the month of August or September, whatever month is going to be your month 1. That means you're in full structure, you're fully qualified 2 months in a row. So hopefully you guys are aware of that. So the last thing I wanted to do is just remind you of our vision, and this is through training, networking, and accountability. You're going to learn what it takes to become an executive team, and of course we are going to have fun in the process, because Stacia and I don't do anything unless it's fun. Well, not always, but most of the time. So our vision is to have 200 executives this year because we believe in all of you. So we have a goal to have 108 new executives promote out of this group. So we're really excited about that goal. So we want to recognize those that are going for month 1. Here are their names right here. Stacia, did you want to read all those names, or can they take it? Go ahead.
All right, here goes nothing. Emma Cardenas, Tamara Bell, Ashley Berkelmans, Bethany Berry, Karen Clark, Lexi Comfort, Tiffany Irwin, Jill Fleming, Deb Forrester Udall, Brandy Fusaji, Amy Gibson, Jamie Halber, Sarah Hamilton, Courtney Heitman, Jill Johnson, Tanya Jones, Mary Morrow, Michelle Matheny, Terry Newberry, Shauna C. Owens, Terry Palat, Allison Pagoni, Julie Spink, Alexis Stover, and Natalie Wood. Woohoo!
Ooh. That's awesome. So this is for August. These guys are going for month 1 in August. So if we miss you, let us know, message us, and let us know. So Lauren's saying, where do we find the homework and where do we put it? Lauren, you don't have to record your homework. You are just, all you have to do is jump on the Facebook page, and Stacia's going to make a post afterwards, and you'll be all set. All right, this is month 2 in August. These guys are going to be executives. I know Deborah Kimball messaged me this morning. She's about $400 and some away, so she's almost there. So go ahead, Stace.
All right. Erin Brown, Michelle Beaupre. Michelle, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Denise Cazares, Corey Ellis, Beverly Graham, Chantel Gossett, Tammy Johnston, Jen Jones, Debbie Kimball, Carrie Pillow, April Rudman, Alicia Sanford, Shelly Tuzolino, and Jenny Ward.
All right, that's awesome. We're so excited. So
Yes.
You guys, this is a picture of all of our executives. Can you believe we have 168 executives? And I remember a time, you guys, when we had 58 executives, 56, 59, 54. Mm-hmm. So this is incredible. So here's A through G. So I know we have some executives on the call. If you want to take a snapshot of that, you can do that. And then we have G through M. These are all executives. There's a total of 112 executives now. That's like amazing. But still, guys, think of this. Out of 60,000, and make sure you're telling your teams that you guys are going for a goal that only 112 people have done out of 60,000 people, right? 60,000 people could have made this choice. And so those are our 4 screens of executives. And then we have our senior executive directors, and we have 21, I believe, 21. So I know some of our executives are going for senior executive director right now. Only 21 people have reached that goal. And then we have national executive directors. Right now, you guys, there are 35 national executive directors. So this is super, super exciting. So again, we want to know who is going to be next, where are you going to be, and we're excited to help you guys get to that executive level and beyond. So you guys, we're going to use the same call to action that we had last month, because you might be kind of rethinking some of the things you're going to do based on the incredible tips that Miss Jennifer shared with us. But we added this one, number 5, and this is what Stacia's going to put on the page as your conversation question, which is, what is your top takeaway from Jennifer's tips, and how are you going to implement it? All right. So also wanted to remind you guys, in 2 weeks, we're going to have our next webinar, which is on September 8th, and that is at 12 noon Central. Our focus is teamwork and monthly activity. So I know that we had some questions in the chat. I'm willing to stay on for a couple minutes. If you guys want to ask those questions, I'll just stay on for a few minutes here. But if you need to go, we totally understand that. And we thank you so much for being here, and we're really excited for your success. And I can't wait till the first Friday calls. You guys got to be on those. They're going to be amazing. So, all right, good. So anybody have a quick question? Oops, lots of whoop whoops. Oop, can you go back? I'm not sure what you wanted me to go back to, Christy. Let me know which slide. Oh, I love it. Team Incredible. Who's Team Incredible? She says, OMGs, I'm on there. I love it. I forget who Team Incredible is. All right. So somebody was saying Mary Lou Stowe is in month 2. So with the people that we put on month 2, or people that are in executive bound, but that's a good point. We have 3 others going for executive this month that are not part of executive bound. Lots of cheers. All right. We already answered the homework question. All right. Okay, looks like those are the main questions. We'll check the chat later, and Stacia will cover that tomorrow for you guys. So you guys, thank you so much for being here. Jennifer, thank you again for being here. And Stacia, did you want to wrap us up?
No, I just wanted to say thanks again to Jen, and thank you to all of you for your investment in yourselves and in your organization and your growth by being here and being with us today. We appreciate all of you, and we will have this recording out to you as soon as it's available.
All right, everybody have a great day. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Cathy, did you want me to stay?
What? Oh, I'm sorry. Jennifer, were you asking me something?
Did you want me to stay?
I think we're all good to go.
Okay.
Oh, did you want to talk to me about your recruiting goals? Is that what you said?
Oh. Sure.
I'll call you. How's that? All right, girlie. We'll see you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Of course, my pleasure.
All right. We'll see you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.